Naomi never saw it coming. Nobody did. The entire WWE Universe expected the Women's Elimination Chamber 2025 match to be brutal. Yes, but what unfolded shocked fans, left Naomi broken in the middle of the ring, and gave Jade Cargill the spotlight she has been demanding since the day she stepped foot in WWE. And now, Jade Cargill has broken her silence. And when Jade talks, the wrestling world listens. Let's make one thing clear. Jade didn't just make a statement at Elimination Chamber. She made a declaration of war. Naomi thought this was going to be her night, her chance to climb through hell and come out as the #1 contender. But Jade Cargill had other plans, and those plans included dismantling Naomi in front of the entire world. The attack wasn't just physical, it was personal. Jade didn't wait for the chamber to play out like everyone else. She stormed inside, looked Naomi dead in the eyes, and made sure the glow dimmed forever. The beating was vicious. Naomi's body slammed against the steel chains, her back scraping the chamber wall, her ribs taking blow after blow. The WWE Universe watched in horror as Jade unleashed a level of aggression we haven't seen from her in months. This wasn't just competition. This was rage. The boos rained down, but Jade didn't care. The referees screamed for her to stop, but Jade refused. She wanted to prove one thing: that Naomi isn't on her level, and that anyone who dares to stand in Jade Cargill's way will be crushed. After the match, Naomi was stretchered out, her face etched in pain, her body trembling. Fans online erupted with anger. Hashtags like #Justice for Naomi and #Suspend Jade trended worldwide within minutes. The WWE Universe wasn't just upset, they were furious. They accused Jade of going too far, of targeting Naomi out of jealousy, and of robbing fans of what could have been Naomi's moment. But here's where the story gets even more explosive. Jade Cargill finally broke her silence. And her words. They've sent shockwaves across the wrestling world. With a cold, calculated tone, Jade warned Naomi. You thought you could glow brighter than me. You thought you could take my spotlight. Naomi, I don't just end careers, I erase legacies. What happened inside that chamber wasn't an accident. It was a warning. Stay out of my way, or next time, you won't be leaving on a stretcher, you'll be leaving for good. The audacity. The venom. The sheer confidence in her voice. Jade Cargill doesn't care if the fans hate her. She doesn't care if management finds her. She doesn't care about the outcry on social media. All she cares about is dominance, and Naomi just became the first victim in her warpath. And here's the part that has fans truly outraged. Jade picked Naomi for a reason. Naomi is beloved. She's respected. She's one of the few women in WWE with universal support from the crowd. She's a veteran, a role model, a champion in her own right. And Jade targeted her specifically to send a message to everyone: nobody is safe. Not champions. Not icons. Not even fan favorites. Backstage, the fallout has been nuclear. Reports say Naomi was treated for multiple injuries, bruised ribs, strained muscles, and severe soreness. Doctors are evaluating whether she'll miss significant time. Meanwhile, Jade was seen walking through the curtain after the attack, smirking, brushing past officials like nothing happened. The arrogance in her step told the entire story. She knew exactly what she did, and she's proud of it. But here's where things get even more twisted. Word is that Jade Cargill's attack wasn't just spontaneous rage. Insiders are saying this has been building for months. Jade has been frustrated with how WWE has booked her. Frustrated with waiting for her spotlight. Frustrated watching Naomi get opportunities she felt should have been hers. The Elimination Chamber wasn't just a match for Jade, it was the breaking point. Naomi didn't just suffer in that chamber physically, she suffered emotionally, too. Imagine this. You've spent your career fighting for respect, battling injuries, breaking barriers, and winning over fans worldwide. You finally get the stage, the spotlight, the chance to shine inside one of WWE's most dangerous structures, and instead of walking out a contender, you're dragged out broken, courtesy of Jade Cargill. And the pain on Naomi's face as she was strapped to that stretcher wasn't just from the steel and the strikes. It was heartbreak, humiliation. She was robbed. Backstage, the scene was chaos. Superstars crowded around the medical area, furious, confused, demanding answers. Bianca Belair, Naomi's closest ally in WWE right now, was seen pacing the halls, shouting at officials, calling Jade Cargill a coward who couldn't win fairly. Bayley, normally quick with sarcasm, was reportedly silent, shaken at just how far Jade went. Even veterans like Natalya and Asuka were overheard saying Jade crossed a line that may never be forgiven. And yet, Jade herself, completely unfazed. When confronted by reporters after the attack, Jade simply smirked and said, Naomi got exactly what she deserved. Y'all been hyping her up for years, and for what? To dance. To glow. To get in my way. Please. Naomi is yesterday's news. I'm the future. I'm the storm, and I'm the reason nobody in that locker room can sleep easy. Those words have ignited a firestorm online. Fans are furious, calling Jade disrespectful, arrogant, and dangerous. Social media exploded with outrage, with hashtags like #ProtectNaomi and #BanJade trending within hours. Clips of the brutal attack have gone viral, with millions of views across platforms, fans calling it the most shocking moment of the chamber. But let's not get it twisted. While fans are angry, they're also buzzing. Jade Cargill just became the most talked about woman in professional wrestling. Whether you love her or hate her, you're talking about her. And that's exactly what Jade wanted. Because Jade doesn't just fight for wins. She fights for dominance. And dominance isn't about pinning someone in the ring. It's about taking their dignity, their spotlight, their very identity, and crushing it in your hands. Naomi was Jade's target because Naomi represented everything Jade despises: popularity, fan love, and respect earned over years. Jade wants all of that, but she doesn't want to earn it. She wants to take it by force. The WWE officials are now in panic mode. Reports suggest fines and suspensions are being discussed, but there's hesitation. Why? Because Jade is a star. Because controversy sells. Because, deep down, the company knows that the anger Jade has stirred up is also driving ratings through the roof. And now, they're stuck in the middle. Do they punish her and risk slowing her rise, or do they ride the wave and let her continue tearing through the roster? Meanwhile, Naomi's future is uncertain. Sources close to her say she's furious, not just at Jade, but at WWE management for not protecting her. She's reportedly considering taking time off, both to heal and to reflect on whether the environment is even safe anymore. For someone like Naomi, who's fought so hard to reclaim her spot, this feels like a cruel twist of fate. And yet, Naomi isn't backing down completely. In a private moment caught on camera, Naomi whispered to a friend as she was wheeled out of the arena. "This isn't over. Not by a long shot." Those 5 words have fans buzzing. Because if Naomi comes back, and make no mistake, she will, this won't just be about wins and losses anymore. This will be personal. This will be war. But the question is, can Naomi really stop Jade? After what we saw inside that chamber, Jade looks untouchable. Bigger, stronger, meaner, hungrier. And Naomi, despite her resilience, may be walking into a battle she can't win. Naomi's voice finally cracked through the silence backstage after the attack, trembling yet filled with raw emotion. "Jade, you tried to break me in that chamber. But let me tell you something. You can't break a soul that's already been tested by fire. I've fought battles in my career that you can't even imagine. I've taken hits from legends, from giants, from people who thought I'd never make it, but here I am. And you think because you threw me around inside a cage, you've ended me. No, Jade, you've just lit a fire that's going to burn everything around you." Those words weren't just emotional, they were a declaration of war. Naomi was hurting, no doubt. Her ribs bruised, her pride shaken, but her spirit. That was something Jade had failed to crush. The WWE universe reacted instantly. Social media exploded with hashtags. #Pray for Naomi, #Jade Cargill War, and #Chamber Chaos. Fans debated endlessly, some praising Jade's dominance, others condemning her ruthlessness. "Naomi deserved better," one fan wrote on Twitter. Another countered, "This is the Jade Cargill we've been waiting for. No mercy, all dominance." But what made this even more intense was Jade's unapologetic stance. She went live later that night, not even waiting for Raw or SmackDown to address the fallout. Jade sat there, looking directly into the camera with eyes that carried zero remorse. "Naomi, sweetheart, you really thought you could just waltz into my spotlight? No, I don't share. I take. And I made my statement at Elimination Chamber because it needed to be made. You're in my world now, and trust me, I'm not finished with you." That's when she dropped the line that had everyone talking. This isn't just about Naomi. This is about the entire women's division. If anyone steps in my way, they get the same treatment, brutal and final. It was a warning shot heard around the wrestling world. The women's locker room reportedly took it seriously. Sources revealed that even top stars like Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley were concerned about Jade's approach. One insider even said, "Nobody's safe. Jade isn't playing games, she's trying to rewrite the hierarchy of women's wrestling." The fallout from this was massive. WWE producers had to step in and carefully map out how to handle this feud without escalating it into something too dangerous. Fans began clamoring for Naomi vs. Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, with some even speculating that it could main event night 1. Think about that for a second. 2 women, 1 feud, and the possibility of rewriting history with a personal storyline that's as brutal as it is emotional. But Naomi wasn't waiting until WrestleMania. At a SmackDown taping following Elimination Chamber, she stormed the ring mid-show, limping slightly but standing tall, microphone in hand. Her voice carried the kind of fury fans hadn't heard in years. "Jade Cargill, you wanted my attention. You got it. I don't care if I have to crawl to that ring, I'm not backing down. You wanted to humiliate me in front of the world. Now I'm going to drag you into a fight you can't control. Because you might be strong, but you're not unbreakable." The crowd went insane. Chants of, "Now am I. Now am I," shook the arena. And guess what? Jade appeared, sauntering down the ramp with that smirk plastered across her face, not even in wrestling gear, just casually dressed, but carrying herself like she owned the building. She didn't even grab a mic at first, she just circled Naomi like a predator. Then, she finally raised the mic, leaned in, and whispered, "Careful what you wish for, you might just get it." And then, bam, out of nowhere, Jade dropped Naomi with a sudden cheap shot, planting her in the middle of the ring again. Security rushed out, referees swarmed, but the message was crystal clear: Jade was in control. This wasn't just a feud anymore. This was personal, vicious, and dangerous. Naomi was fighting for respect, for pride, for survival. Jade was fighting to prove dominance, to establish herself as untouchable. The question wasn't if they'd clash again, it was when. The world is watching, the fans are buzzing, and the WWE Women's Division feels like it's teetering on the edge of something explosive. Jade Cargill isn't just stepping into this war with Naomi, she's rewriting the entire playbook for what it means to be dominant in WWE. But here's where things get dangerous. The way Jade moves, the way she talks, the way she carries herself, it's all dripping with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what she's capable of. And when you add the element of personal vengeance into that equation, you don't just have a rivalry, you've got a powder keg waiting to blow. Naomi is hurt, but she's far from broken. The WWE Universe has rallied behind her like never before. You can hear it in the chants, see it in the signs, and feel it in the energy every time her name is mentioned. And that's what makes this battle so damn heartbreaking. It's not just about titles anymore, it's not even about who's the better wrestler. It's about pride, survival, and the need to prove who truly belongs at the very top of WWE. Jade has made it crystal clear that she doesn't care about the fans booing her, she doesn't care about management trying to rein her in, and she damn sure doesn't care about the rules. Her only mission is to erase Naomi's legacy and plant her own as the most dominant force in WWE today. And let's be honest, after what she did at Elimination Chamber, who's going to stop her? Who has the guts to step up and tell Jade Cargill she's gone too far? But here's the kicker, the WWE Universe isn't just watching. They're invested. Every fan out there is taking sides, every fan out there is waiting for that one moment when Naomi finally gets her chance at payback. And you better believe when it happens, it's going to be one of the most unforgettable moments in WWE history. Because if Naomi can somehow weather this storm, if she can rise above the brutality and the chaos that Jade has unleashed, then we could be looking at a career-defining rivalry. A rivalry that could cement both of their names in the history books forever. But if Jade continues to dominate the way she has, if she continues to crush Naomi at every turn, then WWE is looking at a future where Jade Cargill isn't just a star, she's the standard. The question is no longer if Jade and Naomi are going to collide again. The question is when. And when it happens, the WWE Universe is going to explode, because this isn't just a match, it's a war. And right now, Jade Cargill has thrown down the gauntlet. She's made it clear that Naomi is in her crosshairs, and she's not letting go until she proves her point. Naomi's response. That's what everyone's waiting for. Will she back down? Or will she fight fire with fire and bring the fight right to Jade's doorstep? The WWE Universe is absolutely rattled tonight. Forget every shocking moment you've seen this year. Forget every twist, every betrayal, every beatdown. Because what Jacob Fatu just did to Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed wasn't just revenge, it was straight up carnage. This wasn't wrestling anymore. This wasn't about wins, losses, or pride. This was personal. This was blood. This was a war declaration that no one saw coming but everyone felt in their gut. And it all traces back to one crime, one unforgivable act, an attack on the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. The moment Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed laid their hands on Roman, the WWE Universe knew there would be consequences. But not like this. Not this brutal. Not this vicious. What Jacob Fatu unleashed tonight was beyond wrestling. It was a message carved in violence, a promise sealed in broken bodies. And you could see it in his eyes. This wasn't just about defending Roman. This was about unleashing a storm so catastrophic that the very foundations of WWE would never be the same. Bron Breakker thought he was untouchable. He thought his reckless, power-driven aggression made him the new face of dominance. Bronson Reed believed his sheer size and brute strength made him an unstoppable wall. But they forgot one thing. You don't touch Roman Reigns. You don't attack the head of the table and walk away unscathed. And Jacob Fatu, the untamed beast of the bloodline, made sure they learned that lesson in the most merciless way imaginable. The scene was pure chaos. The lights hit, the music dropped, but what came next sent chills down the spines of everyone watching. Jacob Fatu stormed the arena like a predator unleashed, his face twisted with rage, his eyes laser focused on one thing: vengeance. The crowd erupted, not in cheers, not in boos, but in shock. Because everyone knew, something historic was about to go down. Bron Breakker barely had time to register what was happening before Fatu's massive frame crashed into him with a spear that looked like it could snap a ribcage in half. Bronson Reed charged forward, trying to use his weight advantage, but Fatu didn't back down. He met power with power, ferocity with ferocity. What followed wasn't just a fight, it was an annihilation. Fatu didn't want to just win. He wanted to destroy. The steel steps became weapons, the barricade became a battering ram, and the announce table didn't just break, it shattered under the sheer force of Fatu's wrath. Bron Breakker, the self-proclaimed future of WWE, lay motionless, gasping for breath, while Bronson Reed, this so-called unstoppable juggernaut, looked like a broken shell of a man, crushed beneath the weight of Fatu's revenge. And yet, it wasn't just the brutality that shocked the WWE universe. It was the symbolism. Every move, every strike, every devastating blow carried a message. Jacob Fatu wasn't just fighting for himself. He wasn't just punishing two men for a cheap shot. He was making a statement for the bloodline, for the honor of Roman Reigns, and for the legacy of Samoan dominance that cannot and will not be disrespected. But here's the part that's driving fans wild: the timing. Jacob Fatu didn't do this weeks later, when tempers had cooled. He didn't wait for the perfect setup at a pay-per-view. No, he struck immediately, in the heat of the moment, when the wounds of Roman's assault were still fresh. He wanted the world to know, the bloodline doesn't forgive, and it damn sure doesn't forget. The cameras caught Roman Reigns watching backstage, his expression cold, calculated, but with the faintest trace of a smirk. Because deep down, Roman knew what we all knew: Jacob Fatu was the enforcer they needed. The man who would do the dirty work, the man who would cross the line without hesitation, the man who would make sure the bloodline stayed untouchable. And tonight, he proved it in the most gruesome way possible. The WWE universe is torn apart over this. Some are calling it justified, saying Breakker and Reed got exactly what they deserved for laying their hands on Roman. Others are outraged, calling Fatu's attack criminal, saying WWE went too far letting this level of destruction happen. Social media is exploding with clips, reactions, and debates, but one thing is undeniable: everyone is talking about Jacob Fatu. Everyone is talking about the bloodline. And everyone is questioning what happens next. Because here's the thing: Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed might be down now, but do you really think they're going to stay quiet after this? Or will this trigger a war unlike anything WWE has seen in years? Jacob Fatu might have just lit the fuse to the most explosive feud of 2025, and once this bomb goes off, nobody is walking away unscarred. And let's not forget the deeper angle here. For months, WWE fans have speculated whether the bloodline was beginning to crumble. With Roman stepping back, Solo carving his own path, Jay and Jimmy torn apart, and uncertainty hanging in the air, people thought the dynasty was on the verge of collapse. But tonight, Jacob Fatu reminded the world that the bloodline is still alive, still ruthless, and more dangerous than ever. He reminded us that when one Samoan falls, another rises twice as fierce. And if Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed didn't understand that before, they damn sure understand it now. But what makes this even more spine-chilling is the aftermath. Bron Breakker had to be carried out by officials, clutching his ribs, barely able to stand. Bronson Reed, a man who has built his entire identity on his size and strength, was reduced to a broken heap on the floor. The crowd, stunned into silence, watched as Fatu stood tall over both men, his chest heaving, his hands dripping with sweat and fury, his message written not in words, but in destruction. And if you thought that was the end of it, you'd be wrong. Because after the beatdown, Jacob Fatu leaned into the camera, his voice low, his words chilling, as he growled: "You touch Roman, you touch the bloodline, you pay in blood." The entire WWE universe froze. That wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. A warning to everyone in the locker room. A reminder that Roman Reigns might not always be the one swinging the sword, but he's always protected. Always guarded. And Jacob Fatu is the shield that no one can break.